Chris Gio, and you are watching Merchant Method Retail Trend Reports. What I do is I combine retail industry trend with experience-based training so that you can build retail profit with ease. Last week, I got a fantastic question from one of our Retail Trend Report insiders. And if you are not an insider, you must subscribe. What our insiders receive is early access to the trend report topics and the report summaries, as well as additional resources, articles, inspirational videos, and extra bonuses only available to those that sign up. How you do that is you sign up through the Facebook page or go to merchantmethod.com/retail trends. So here's the question I got. Do you have any best practices for retailing both in a brick and mortar and online? From the surface of that question, there's no way to know that Ellie runs a 21-year-old brick and mortar business. Very successful in its own right, has been successful for 21 years. She's weathered all of the economic ups and the economic downs, and she's already retailing online. So when I was thinking about this question, I decided to go right where our minds naturally take us when we think about retailing online. Fierce competition, competitive pricing, and this thing called free shipping and free returns. The world of online retail created by very well capitalized tech-based retailers like Amazon, Zappos, and many, many others. That's pretty tough for independent retailers and small businesses to compete with, so I wanted to address it. There are a few things I want to talk about with regards to pricing, and the first is we run businesses with integrity, and it is up to us, up to you. I don't know what business you run. I don't know what you retail, where you sell, if you're selling in-store and online already, but you must abide by all of the laws around retail pricing applicable to any state in which you retail. So what I'm going to do is in the trend report notes on merchantmethod.com, I will include a link to the resource from the National Institute of Standards and Technology. They create this very detailed, consumer-focused, customer protection, protective laws around retail pricing. If you need to refer to that, please do. You can also Google weights and measures retail pricing, but I'll include a link to it. We abide by that. We run businesses with integrity. So now that that's said, I want to tell you one of my favorite stories about variable pricing before we dive into hidden costs of online prices, as well as a fantastic article that Harvard Business Review published at the end of January this year with their recommendations on how retailers can remain competitive online. It's one of my favorite articles because I have experience with it, and it can work if you are strategic. So, many moons ago, I was in charge of strategic inventory in a specialty retail company, and my area of expertise in the department I managed was men's, specifically bottoms, so shorts and pants. And I happened to be overseeing an item that was shorts, and it was about August, September. So think a little bit about shorts, men's apparel, August, September. We're thinking about the back to school timeframe and the end of summer into early fall. At that time, I was getting a lot of fantastic additional information, external information about opportunity in retail, opportunity by region, opportunity by product category. And I was getting some fantastic information from a company called Planalytics. They, at that time, provided weather-driven demand data. It's going to be extra hot. Someone might want to buy swimwear and spaghetti strap dresses and sandals and sunscreen. Or it's going to be a particularly wet winter. There might be an opportunity for more raincoats and umbrellas. The information we were getting was real time. It went out about 2 or 3 weeks with enough time that a large company with more than 1,000 stores can take action and find meaningful incremental profit by taking action on that information. All this to say, I was getting ready to recommend our shorts program for markdown across over 1,000 stores, hundreds and thousands of units. And I got this information, this weather-driven demand information, letting me know that the weather in the southern region was going to be particularly warmer for a longer period of time than it had historically been for the past few years. And I thought, why would I take everything to markdown when I know there's an opportunity in a particular section of the country to keep that item at full price, knowing that we were complying to the laws of the land, to the laws of the industry, and whatever I recommended would still be in compliance with the company's overall pricing policy. And so I decided to take that program at markdown for most of the stores, keep it at full price in that particular region in the South, and I was able to gain incremental, meaningful gross profit dollars by doing that, by having a different price in one section of stores versus the other section of stores, and not by a little, to the tune of 5 digits. A lot over the course of 3 weeks. This really got me thinking way back in, the early 2000s, a lot more about this notion of localization, localized pricing, pricing with intention. And what I love about that story in particular is that it reminds me that if you have the right product in the right place, at the right time, at the right price, you can really optimize retail. And it just happened to be for a very specific amount of time, for 3 weeks, in a particular subset of stores, in a particular category of product, that I was able to create a different pricing strategy. So I want you to keep that in mind when you're thinking about pricing. So whether you have one location or two, whether you're selling in-store and online, think strategically about your pricing, because price matching does not have to be a given if you explore what's right for your business. So, I want to talk a little bit about pricing strategy. You get an item, you know you need to set a retail price. You're determining that hopefully through a very strategic gross margin percent, one that covers your variable cost of running your business. But we know that math gets to a number that never sounds good to a customer, that is not strategic, that is just purely mathematical. So we need to change that number to something that is appropriate on a price tag, appropriate as a strategy. And in that second step, once you've covered the cost of running your business, that second step of fine-tuning that price is where some of that strategy can impact your pricing. So whether you are pricing psychologically and ending your prices in 9, whether you're pricing above the competition or below the competition, or you're bundling, whatever the case may be, that secondary piece is strategic. And I want you to think through carrying that strategy to retailing online. Now, it had been the case that if you are setting your margins so that it covers the cost of doing business, think for a second about all that covers. It definitely covers the square footage in which you're selling. It definitely covers your payroll. It should cover your payroll, and it should cover anything else that's customer facing and customer focused. Might you have water? For customers that are shopping on a hot day, might you have in-store perks? Might you have a larger payroll and a larger employee count for selling in-store versus selling online? Think about your brand, all that your employees bring forward to your customers. Anytime I go into a brick-and-mortar location that I feel really good in, I get greeted by a person. I have a genuine interaction. I am looking and interacting with a very real physical environment. Not only am I looking at a fantastic assortment, the ambiance, the storytelling is unlike an experience I would get online. Online is two-dimensional. Even with video, even with GIFs, it just cannot replicate what it's like to be in a well-merchandised store. The sounds, the music, the smell. If stores burning a candle, I've been in stores that burn candles. interacting with other customers, being able to have a shared moment with another shopper, you can't replicate that in an online environment. And that in-store experience, everything that it takes to cultivate that experience should somehow be captured in your gross margin rate that you use to determine your retail price. The variable expenses of running an online business are different. Different consideration, different expectations, but we know that if you carry your in-store retail prices online, it's very difficult to compete. So Harvard Business Review writes this article that, asks, do you need to? Do you need to carry the same prices? Do you need to post the same prices? If you're running a business with integrity, if you are following the customer-friendly, consumer-friendly regulations put forward by the National Institutes of Standards and Technology, what is to keep you from saying a higher retail price in a brick and mortar is value-added service for the human interaction, for the highest level of service, for the engagement, for the ambiance, for all the perks? And if you really loaded that price with that experience, could you offer a lower price online? And so in their article, I'm going to post a link to it in the show notes on merchantmethod.com/retail trends. That'll be up and live tomorrow. It really proposes this notion that for retailers, for brick and mortar retailers to stay really competitive, start thinking differently about your prices. Again, going back to these fundamentals, and I cannot emphasize the fundamentals enough. Is it the right product? Is it in the right place? Is it the right time with the right message at the right price? So really, because I don't know a whole lot about your retail business, I know a lot about Ellie's because I patron our store, but because I don't know a lot about your retail business, because I don't know a lot about your specific brand, I do know this. I will always encourage you to differentiate in your brick and mortar location. I will always encourage you to bring as robust a human experience as possible, but think through how can you differentiate. And before you determine whether or not you're going to offer the same price, ask yourself this. Number one, do you know your customer by sales channel well enough? The customer that's going to come into your store, whether it's convenient or inconvenient, whether there's parking or no parking, whether it's sunny or rainy, whether it's near or miles away. Do you know that customer versus the customer that is going to shop online? Is that online customer already someone that shops in your store, or is that online customer someone you have to work to acquire? How loyal will that customer be to you? Are they going to start looking and trying to price match, trying to find the lowest price? So just know the customer you're trying to speak to really well by sales channel. Number two, know your purpose. Are you trying to expand your reach? Are you one location trying to share your message or your values or your assortment or your taste or your experience or your brand story to people that don't live or work near you? Or are you trying to offer an assortment extension, specialty items that might drop ship or blind ship that you can never carry in the store? Or do you want to carry only your core items so your customers can just keep filling their orders, filling their need once a month, once a quarter, every 6 months without having to go in a store? So really know what is your purpose and what's your qualitative purpose and what's your quantitative purpose. Because when you are thinking about playing big online or like playing intentionally online, there should be a financial plan associated with it. And number three, really know yourself as a business. So what are your competencies? What are you really, really good at? And what do you need support with? Because we know, because we all have websites, it is not as quick or as agile to create or to provide as a robust experience as it is in store. A robust experience in store can be brought together pretty quickly with people. Customers are very forgiving as soon as there's a human interaction, and as soon as you can allay a customer's fears or level set their expectations, even surpass their expectations. But when it comes to online technology, when it comes to retailing online for small businesses, it is very difficult for small businesses to operate at that same level as a well-capitalized, enterprising, tech-based retail startup. So again, think through these different prices. If you want more information around retail price, retail pricing strategy, email us at info@merchantmethod.com. We are updating our free training available on our homepage, so that is coming up shortly. And if you are ready to dive deep into these types of questions, the complexity of the 5 R's of retail, right product, right price, right place, right time, right message, I invite you to Rise, a 2-day retail retreat specifically for experience-based independent retailers. That is being held in Seattle, Washington on April 27th and April 28th. And it is followed up with 4 weeks of coaching to help you implement your newfound strategies once you're back in the business. The thing that you'll notice is we will be looking at foundational information for retail, but we're just going to be diving into the complexities and uncovering some hidden gems to allow you to get to that next level profit with ease. Thanks so much. This is Chris for Merchant Method, and until next week, I'll see you around. Thanks.